My name's Meade Hardwick. We're in Newellton, Louisiana at Somerset Plantation, and today we're harvesting milo, also known as grain sorghum. Milo is it's a feed grain. It is in the grass family, kind of like a corn. Well, it is a pretty crop. I mean, you know, it turns a nice dark maroon color. I mean, so it is pleasing to the eye. No, I don't get really emotionally wrapped up in milo like we do cotton, but it fits a management practice that we're going for. I mean, most things about it are fairly miserable. I mean, it's very itchy, you know, but it serves a purpose. It's grown in Texas and Kansas a lot where they have no water. But they also have some industry to consume that product. The market for us here in the U.S. in terms of price is really dictated by how much China is importing. Right now they are using tremendous amounts of it for their feed grains, but also in their brewing industry. They have an alcoholic drink that they use sorghum to make, and so right now the price is good, they're buying lots of it, demand is really strong. So for us, it's a great crop. This year we're right around 1,500 acres of cotton. We have 3,400 acres of beans, we have 2,200 acres of corn, and we have right around 800 acres of milo. Typically we would harvest milo prior to corn, go straight into corn, and then might have a few days there, maybe a week between our next harvest, which would be soybeans. It fits in well with our rotation and what we try to do from a soil health perspective, and also managing our own resources. So if we're really being heavy like we've been in the last few years, we're having to lease a third combine. It puts an extra stress on people, machinery. So with having milo back in the mix, we're able to spread out our harvest. So milo has a tendency to be considered sort of a stepchild crop. I didn't get my primary crop in, it's getting late in the year. Let's throw some milo out there, put minimal inputs in it, and we'll get something. We grow milo with the intent of making a crop. It can be a big part of our rotation for all the reasons we stated earlier. So we went into this with having a full mind of what we wanted to do to manage this crop. The last year that we grew milo was around 2016. It does not weather well. We had a really rainy July. The quality went down. Our yields also were not very good. And the market went away. It was not being exported. There was not much demand for it. We don't have a market for it locally, so it all goes export. Once that dried up, we kind of got out of the milo. Prices are back up, as we mentioned, so we went at it as we were hoping to kind of get back on the board, so to speak, with our milo production after seeing it go down a little bit. It is a very good dry land crop. We historically have used it on this farm to be in areas that may have limited water resources or completely dry land where we have irrigation that doesn't function as properly, where we haven't been able to make the investment to bring our irrigation up to standard. We were kind of hoping that we would get back to that 100, 110 bushel range in terms of just getting back on the board and seeing where we were management-wise. We did change some things, fertility, and right now the milo behind us is averaging around 120 to 135 bushels per acre. So we're really pleased with that. Hopefully it'll stay that way and won't go down, but for our first venture back into milo after about a 4-year break, we are pretty pleased with that so far.
The Hardwicks were not able to harvest all of their crop ahead of Hurricane Ida, but their farm was spared from heavy wind and rain that could have been harmful to the crop in the field. Still to come on TWILA, we get away from the storms to focus on National Rice Month.
But first, Jennifer Finley brings us a field to feast that will really get your goat, or at least make you want to get a goat, next.